Hello and welcome to my channel. This is my live fire, and today we are checking the image quality of the Sigma 17 to 70mm f2.8 to f4 lens on my GH5. It's adapted with the speed booster Voltrox speed booster 0.71 times magnification. So let's take a look here. First picture I took, so the sample pictures I took at 12mm. Micro Four Third system equivalent, 12mm and 25mm and then 50mm. So I compared these with the Lumix kit lens 12 to 60mm. I compared the image quality between these two lenses, and in the end I'm gonna attach some real life sample photos so you can have a look how it looks like when you actually shoot some landscape or close up or whatever. Let's take a look at the first picture shot at 12mm. This one with the Sigma 17 to 70mm lens. Let's zoom in. The center is very sharp. We can zoom in a little bit more even. Yeah, it's definitely sharp. Very good detail here. But as expected, if you go to the corner and the side, and you can see this kind of warpy distortion, and it's because the lens is not really designed for Micro Four Third, and when you adapt it, sometimes the edge can be distorted a little bit. So this is what it looks like, and obviously this is not gonna be very sharp due to the distortion and stuff. Let's see this side, and obviously you have heavy vignetting as well. Let's just raise the exposure so you can see it better up here. Yeah, I would say the lens resolution is pretty good. The only problem is the lens is not designed for Micro Four Third. It's adapted, so you can see heavy distortion and vignetting, which leads to less resolution and less detail in the corner. And it's a pity because the lens itself is definitely solid. Okay, and also this one is shot at f2 wide open. So at wide open, the image quality I would say is satisfactory. Alright, let's move on to the next one. This one shot at 25mm, 24mm. It's about 50 or 48mm full frame equivalent. Let's raise the exposure, we can see it better. Alright, in the center, as always, very sharp, very nice clarity as well, very sharp. And in the corner, even the corner is pretty good, I would say. Let's move upwards here. And as always, you have vignetting. If you don't count, take the vignetting into account, the corner is actually very sharp here. Yeah. You have some purple fringing over here. This is another thing that can happen to this lens. And this side, I'd say the bottom corners a little bit weaker, like this and this. They are weaker. And the top corners are really strong for some reason. Top corners are really sharp. Look at this sharpness. It's crazy. When compared to the center, it's equally sharp. Yeah, that's great sharpness. Yeah, I definitely trust this lens to shoot at this focal length, no problem. It's just this kind of vignetting is very difficult to eliminate with this adapted lens. Some lenses adapted are better, some are worse. It depends. Alright, let's move on to the next picture. It's also shot at wide open. This one is probably not f2, it's probably f2.5, I think, or f2.2. Because the GH5 doesn't really read the number correctly, so it should be a 2.2 or 2.5. Anyway, next picture, this one is wide open f2.8, which is the APS-C. Originally should be f4, but on GH5 it reads f2.8 with adapter with the speed booster. Anyway, very sharp when you zoom in. Excellent sharpness here in the center. It's just great detail. This one is at a 50mm focal length, which is about 100 in full frame term. And once again, the top is really sharp, and the bottom, I think it's a little bit, it shows a little bit softness in the bottom corners for some reason. Even the bottom center is sharp, but the bottom corner is weirdly soft, and I don't understand why. Okay, let's see here. Top right corner doesn't even have vignetting anymore. That's pretty good. This is the lens zoomed all the way in. Excuse me. Okay, let's check out next picture. This one I shot same lens, Sigma lens, but this time I stopped down to f5.6 in GH5. And once again, you can see the vignetting. Zoom in, it is sharp. I want to see the corner if it's doing better. The bottom corner is doing better in this case. What about here? I suppose there are a lot of noise, unfortunately. I can't really see very well. Okay, this side, it's similar. I would say there's some improvement, I guess, but not that significant. You can't take out the distortion at 17mm, and the result is a little bit warpy here. It's really weird. As for sharpness, I think it's totally okay. I can compare it to the wide open shot. Once again, let's see the corner. And this one, yeah, the sharpness definitely increased. You see, this is wide open here. This is wide open. And this is at f5.6. The corner sharpness definitely increased, that's for sure, but the distortion and vignetting is still here. So that's the same old problem there. When you're shooting a landscape, when you're shooting wide open, maybe it's gonna be a little bit problematic. But you know, using an adaptive lens at widest aperture, widest focal length, it's always like this because it's designed for a bigger sensor, a different sensor. And speed booster kind of just, you know, magnifying the lights, and sometimes it includes all those, the edge of the frame of the mount. Next picture at 24mm again, but stop down at f5.6. Raise the exposure. Let's see the corner. Very curious about the corner. Corner very sharp in the top. Top left, still some purple fringing. Bottom, oh look at this, bottom is fixed. The bottom is really sharp right now at this focal length. So let's compare it to the other one at wide open. And wide open f2, as you can see here, is soft. It's definitely softer than the center here and here, but when you stop down to f5.6, it is very sharp. The softness just goes away. So yeah, that's pretty cool. That's good to know. Still slight vignetting, but at this point, it's totally okay. Alright, next one, we'll zoom all the way in at 5.6. Raise the aperture exposure so we can see it better. Center, okay. To the corner, top left, very sharp. Bottom left, sharp. Bottom right, it's also sharp. Yeah, I think it definitely fixed the problem when you stop down. Let's see this picture, compare. Yeah, here you can see a little bit soft. When we stop down, it is much sharper than wide open. Okay, cool. The image quality is good. I mean, the sharpness, the detail is good. The main problem is you know, the frame doesn't really match perfectly. So you get all this weird stuff. Anyway, let's take a look at the Lumix kit lens, 12 to 60mm lens, and see how this lens performs. Just do a quick comparison. This one, I shot everything at wide open, so from f3.5 to 5.6. Let's see the center. Excellent sharpness. Really good quality. Bottom. This bottom is definitely better. Much better than the Sigma 17 to 70. Do you remember? Let's check out this one. Look at this softness, the weird look. Even stopping down to f5.6 on the Sigma lens. It's still not as good as the Lumix. And then excuse me. And yeah, the kit lens now obviously designed for micro four third, designed for the camera. Obviously, it's gonna perform much better. Bottom left, still a little bit dark. Maybe it's just the shadow of the building. It's not really because of the lens. Alright. Top left. It's okay. It's a little bit less sharp, but it's still okay. Top right. Also a little bit less sharp. And the corner is not as like this. Even a native lens, the corner is not as sharp. So this is 17 to 70 is kind of understandable that it's not sharp in the corners. This part is kind of underexposed, so it's in the shadow. It's blocked by another structure. So, all right, let's move on to the next picture. This one is shot at 25mm, which is 50 in full frame. Very sharp in the center. None of them have any problem with the center. So, top right corner. Sorry. Top right corner. Okay, it shows a little bit of weakness, right? It's not too weak, not too soft, but it definitely shows a little bit of softness. Bottom, very good corner, very good image quality. Bottom, very sharp as well. So the Lumix kit lens, it seems like that the top corner is slightly weaker. But overall, it's very good, it's very satisfactory. You can shoot anything with this lens, no problem. Next one, zoomed to 50mm, which is 100mm in full frame. Alright, zoom in. Good sharpness. Good sharpness in the top corner. What about bottom corner? Also pretty good. Actually, I can't really see the sharpness because it's like this. But it looks good. Alright, let's move on to another test. This one, I'm shooting against another building, some trees, and you can see the trees, the detail in the trees. We can compare that. Okay, so the first one is shot on kit lens, and it's the last two are shot on the Sigma 17 to 70. Let's take a look at the kit lens first. At f5.6, zoom in. Very good detail with the plants, the window, tree branches, very sharp, nice detail. Maybe here the tree doesn't show great sharpness, but in the back the wall is okay though. Okay, let's take a look at the Sigma lens. It's a little bit too dark. Zoom in. Great sharpness here in the plants. The branches is okay. Corner sharpness is there. It's very nice. Very comparable to the kit lens. Not a big difference, I would say. Even sharper. Look at this corner. And compare it to the Sigma lens. The Sigma lens is sharper in the corner. Look at this. Did I shake in this picture? The shutter speed is pretty fast. Even if I shake, it shouldn't be a problem. But that was wide open on the kit lens. And this one is stopped down on the Sigma. The Sigma's corner is much better when stopped down compared to wide open kit lens. On the top left side, you can also see Let's see. There's a difference. This is the Sigma. This is the kit lens. Okay, similar. With kit lens, maybe even a little bit sharper. It's really hard to tell. Bottom. Bottom is also very good. Both very good sharpness. Yeah, there's not much to say here. It's just both very sharp here. Next. So this one is still the Sigma lens, 50mm, but shot at wide open f2.8. Okay, you can see the softness in the edge. The tree branch is a little bit blurry over here. The wall is still good. Tree still has a detail. The top right corner is still good. Bottom right corner, weak. This is weak. Bottom left corner, a bit blurry over here. Okay, so the Sigma lens basically has a little bit of weakness on the bottom corner for some reason. And top corner is pretty good. Just like we checked in these samples. Here. Yeah. Bottom corner is a little bit weak. Top corner is very sharp. So that's kind of the characteristic of this lens. Yes. Well, stopping down to f5.6 though, it's pretty good. It's like this picture at 5.6, the bottom, even the bottom corner is pretty good. But when you shoot wide open, okay, so here's the conclusion. When you shoot wide open, the Sigma 17 to 70mm lens will show some weakness in the bottom corner. And then obviously when you shoot wide, in terms of focal length, at 70mm for example, there will be distortion, heavy distortion, and vignetting in the corner, which will discount your image quality. So yeah, that's basically it.